Looks like we're... Shaking the table. Hi, welcome back to Unique Minds of the Okanagan. I'm Robb. I'm here on location in Penticton with Wynona Paul, an absolutely amazing Indigenous artist who does beadwork, painting. She's created jerseys. She's done a lot. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
No worries. Let's dive in right away with who you are, where you're from,
Okay.
and how you got into being a creative.
Okay, so my name is Wynona Paul. I was born and raised here in Penticton. I am Syilx from the Okanagan here. I'm Indigenous. And on my dad's side, I'm Scottish, English, German. I'm Heinz ketchup from that side. I got into art. I always loved art. My siblings were all very athletic, and I was not very good at sports. But one thing that I always really liked was sitting down with a coloring book, and that's just kind of how it started when I was very young. And then how I turned this into a business was I was going to Europe for grade 12, and I had no funds to my name, and I really wanted to go. So my sister suggested that I do up some paintings and sell the originals, and do prints and sell those. I ended up paying for the whole trip and having quite a bit of money left over from it. And I couldn't have done it without the support of the community, which was actually astonishing. And it was really great to know that people enjoyed my art as much as I enjoyed doing it.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to travel to Europe.
Yeah.
On your art.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Amazing. And it was so cool because, all the other kids, like their parents made them do chores around the house and whatnot to go to this, where someone asked me, I think his name was Brandon, but he was like, how did was it just like a gift or because it was graduating year? So some kids got that as their grad gift. And I was like, no, actually, I sold a bunch of paintings, and I was showing them all of my art, and they were like, wow, like that is so amazing. And they would always joke like, oh, when you become famous, like remember us. And haven't gotten to that just yet, but yeah, it felt great just knowing that these hands were able to bring me all across Europe, and it was awesome. And I learned so much about the different cultures down there, and it was a really good experience.
Did you get to, while you were in Europe, how much was where did you go, and which was your favorite, which country or place was your favorite for inspiring you to see different styles of art?
Oh, well, we traveled to Germany, France, Ukraine, Italy, and Switzerland. Out of all of those, my favorite was Germany, and it was we went to a concentration camp. It was actually pretty heavy, but it was amazing to see that their whole country really took something awful and teaches everybody about it, mm-hmm. So that it doesn't repeat itself. So and the people were so amazing, and they were so nice. And then we actually ended up going to the Louvre, and I got to see the Mona Lisa. Like, the Mona Lisa is actually like this tiny little painting. Mm-hmm. I thought it was like gonna be this huge, ginormous painting, but yeah, when we got there, it was smaller than this painting here.
It's crazy.
And and like the details was so amazing, and to see the sculptures that are made out of marble, but they make it look like silk and everything. It was very inspiring, honestly. And everybody has like their own kind of art style, so I was still in the midst of finding my art style, so going into it and seeing different styles, and it really inspired me to take that next step.
Did you take any of what you had seen in, I guess it would be like your pre-classic European mm-hmm. art, and blend some elements of that into with Indigenous art?
No, not really.
You've stayed true to and just created your own style.
Yeah, so I started off with doing Haida art because I love the Haida art is gorgeous. So that's kind of how I started. And then as I was going through it, I was changing, and that's how I started getting my own style. And yeah, it's been quite a ride. It's been great.
Haida has always been an art style that has always intrigued me. And I think it's not just from being like living in Penticton, having mom's friends who are on the res that were artists as well. So being introduced to it at a young age for me was really inspiring, and I used to try and draw it. And like, it's always been an art form. There's so many aspects of Indigenous art that I've been drawn to for years, and I always had this weird like I shouldn't be drawing it kind of a thing, because I'm not Indigenous at all. I'm Indonesian, but that's total opposite side of the world. Right? So for me, it's like I can 100% appreciate the style, but I feel wrong when I'm drawing it because of I'm not Indigenous, and I feel like it's such a spiritual and like cultural aspect that's like there's a respect you have to give it.
Oh, for sure.
And when I'm looking at the artwork, it's some of my favorite art. And we were just doing a sculptor the other day for an interview, and we were talking about like the marble that you were talking about and how intricate it gets, and then we segued into totem poles and how the mentality and like the art form of totem poles is just like so unique and diverse to like North America that you see it when I go to the island and I see them, they invoke something more than a painting to me. That's not just sculpture wise, but like the colors, the designs, the shapes. It's like they created such a beautiful style of art, and now you see it it's not that you see it now just taking off, but it's starting to become extremely popular and more diverse, and it's nice to see younger artists picking it up and moving with it and not taking away from the traditional art forms.
Oh, for sure.
When you're going into creating art and other forms of art, like because you do beading as well and you do a lot of other really unique things, how do you start a project? Do you have a vision in mind of what you want to do, or is it like most artists where it just kind of comes flowing through you?
Yeah, honestly, I just kind of wing it. When I've explained that to friends before, because like I just recently last year I started doing pour medium, which is this here, and then painting a design on top. And
kind of like graffiti.
Yeah, and it's just like and animals. I love animals, like all sorts of animals. I have a high respect for them, not only as an Indigenous person, but just a person in general. Like, I think animals are amazing, and they're so beautiful and strong, and they just they invoke something in me that I appreciate so much about them. So that's a lot of my art, is animals and plants. In my culture, it is very important to respect the animals and the plants and whatnot that you harvest from the land. It's very important to give back something when you take something from the land. So a lot of my paintings are of animals and plants. So, and it's just, anytime I start a painting, I'll be like, oh, you like this one? I'm going to do a bear, and I'm going to do a wolf. This is for a commission. But they just requested, I wanted a bear and I want a wolf. And I was like, okay, awesome. So I did the backgrounds, how I don't know why this one just feels more like a wolf and this one feels more like a bear. But
I can see what you mean by that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about it, but once I finished. Yeah.
Bears are calm and wolves are very they're always thinking and focused.
Oh,
so
for
it's
sure.
Like, like they're like mind is wild as word,
Right? So so that's just, and I wanted to take the colors of the environment that you would usually find them in, just forests and whatnot. So and I did the exact same colors. I just did 2 different pour styles, and yeah, as soon as I was done, I was like, this one is a bear. It just like right away I was like, that just feels like a bear, and this feels like a wolf. So I was like, this is what I'm going to be doing. So, and that's just kind of how my art works, is like sometimes like this painting here, it was very planned out, that I was like, yeah, so these represent the 4 seasons, and then what happens within those 4 seasons. Like in the winter, traditionally, we would go stay in a winter house and make like baskets and clothing and stuff, so that you're inside doing stuff like that. Whereas in the spring, you're harvesting bitterroot and sage, and same with the summer and the fall. You're in my culture, traditionally, you would be harvesting something each season.
Something different.
Yeah, for sure. So that one was kind of planned out, but some of the ones that I do, I've just kind of...
Are you turning this into a dial as well, or a clock?
No, I'm just, it represents the full moons. Like, it just represents the passing of
moon
time.
cycles, okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I'm a big fan of the moon. So I usually, in paintings, I'll have like a little hidden moon somewhere. But
it's like your signature kind of a thing.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
Yeah, I've always been super drawn to the moon ever since I was a kid. So yeah, it's just, and yeah, each time I just kind of will get the basic shape of the animal done, and then like I don't plan any of this. I just kind of go with what feels right in the moment, and yeah, and it comes out looking like this. And
see, I find it so intriguing because, can I pick it up?
Yeah, of course.
Like, what I love about Indigenous art is that it's a basic shape that you would see, but then you start to fill it in.
Yeah.
But what I've never understood is when, well, like, I guess it's not, I never understood, but what intrigues me is the detail that goes into it.
Yeah.
And the shapes that are within the designs. Are those shapes and designs, like the dots in specific, do they mean represent things specifically?
Not specifically.
Or are they just like Indigenous Haida like artwork? Do they, or is it just however the artist is going about it?
Well, with like this here, this like represents the gills, and like the dots would be like bubbles.
Because I always see eyes, and you do see moons and stuff, but like suns and stuff always seem to be incorporated, and I always find that that's what draws my eye, because the basic shape is I don't want to say it's basic, kind of sounds rude, but it's not, but the basic design that you're drawing is usually, it's the same structure, like with Haida art, you've got the same whale, but it's the intricacies that are laid inside of the body that are always like captivate me.
Oh,
and I've always wondered if there was like specific meanings to the different styles or strokes and things that went into it.
I know in Haida art there is some things that are like they'll put other animals' faces inside of a different animal, and that sometimes they'll represent like the partnership that they have. Like some ravens and wolves have a really good like partnerships and whatnot, so that can be represented in some of the art.
Okay.
Whereas with mine, it's just what feels right at the time. I just want your eye to move all across.
It
like
does.
I don't want it to stop in one area. I want it to be like, oh, look at this. Oh, and so that you can follow the painting all the way through.
I love it.
Thank you.
Have you ever thought of like tattooing?
I've actually been asked that before, and that is something that I was thinking about doing.
Because that would be like taking this and turning that into tattoos.
Yeah.
So cool.
I have drawn tattoos for people where I actually just had a commission for this guy named Kevin, and he was like, yeah, I get a tattoo of a swallow for each place that I visit. And he was like, and who I would rather have your art. So I did a swallow for him in my design, and he's going to get it tattooed.
That's so
but
cool.
yeah, as soon as he gets it tattooed, I was like, can you please send me a picture? Because like I want to see my art, and just to think that someone is going to wear my art for the rest of their life is it brings me so much joy, and it's like it's very honorable, I feel like, and I think it's really cool. But yeah, he actually asked me, he was like, would you ever, pick up a tattoo gun and try it out? I was like, you know what? I think I might, because I've had a couple of people be like, oh, if only you could just do the tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that would be pretty cool. It's just,
That's a lot scarier.
Yeah.
It's a lot scarier than to draw or paint or anything on art, like canvas-wise, because tattoos is a whole other thing. And
yeah, for sure. And it's all about pressure and like how deep you go in the skin. It's a real science, and I give kudos to tattoo artists, because they're a whole different level, and I think they're the coolest people ever. Like,
I love tattoo artists. I don't understand how they choose flesh as a canvas. It's mind-blowing, because you make one mistake and
for sure.
like, you can cover it up, but
exactly, who wants to do that? Yeah.
Over your course of doing artwork, what's been your biggest struggle point that you've either overcome or have had to still learn to overcome?
I find that I have an issue with like overdoing it with like my time. And I'm never one to be like, no, I can't do that. I'm always like, yeah, I can do that for you. And sometimes I tire myself out and I burn myself out pretty fast. But I think a lot of artists struggle with that. It's just like, they're like, yeah, I want to get as much art done as possible. But sometimes it's really important to take care of yourself, and that's one thing that I really struggle with, is that if someone contacts me about a commission, I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. Even though I have like 5 commissions ahead of you, I will squeeze you in at some point. And then there are moments that my friends are always like, man, you need to like take it easy. Like you look exhausted. And I'm like, I know, I just want to get all the art in as much as possible. So. Yeah.
It does. I think it's a valid point that I don't think anyone's actually brought up during the season, is self-care. And understanding that because artists and creatives we're self-conscious and introverted most of the time.
Oh, for sure.
You find extroverted artists, but they're not as common. And we have this weird duty if we want to make people happy, even though we don't want to be around people. So as artists, we always want to, if we're offered the ability to do and create something for somebody, we're always going to put them first before ourselves. And I think that is a very valid point, because burnout is super defeating.
Oh, for sure.
And if there's one motivational killer on the planet, it would be burnout. Yeah. And overworking yourself, because creativity comes from enjoyment and inside, and when it's being forced, it's very difficult. And that's where like I've always had a hard time selling myself as an artist, or as a manager, or as a graphic designer, is where to say no and where to say yes, and how much to charge, because your time is valuable.
Oh, for sure.
And if it feels forced, the art's not going to be genuine. So
yeah, exactly.
Do you find that, how do you cope with burnout and find that what do you do to level yourself out to get back into like a inspired mindset?
I love camping. So camping is my happy place. So anytime I'm feeling like the weight of the world, or I've taken on too much, it's always good just to get out into the mountains, and just that's where I always find that my mind resets, is once I'm like out there. And even sometimes like me and my sister-in-law, we'll just go bomb around in her side-by-side, and just me and her just talking to each other, driving through the woods, clearing paths and whatnot for our hunting trips and whatnot. That I just find it just resets me. Just being in contact with the earth is like great. And the water. I love going for a swim if I'm feeling like really, really drained or overwhelmed. just a quick dip in the water, and I'm like, oh, I feel great. Like I've just rinsed away all of that negative feeling, or that feeling of like being stuck, especially if I'm kind of blanking out in between arts, and I'm like, oh, I just don't know how I'm going to be inspired to do this next painting when I am so tired from the last one. And then sometimes, just doing a little reset in the water or the reset in the mountains, and it fixes me up really quick. So
I think it's the hardest thing for us as creatives is to find. We create something that helps people release their stress and their hard times through art, music, film, whichever it is, whichever medium we choose. But I always say this to my massage therapist: who massages the massage therapist?
Yeah.
So who's there for us to, like, for our mental state to be? Usually it's a different form of art, but then it's just kind of like this weird cycle of artists inspiring artists to inspire artists.
Yeah.
And it's creative people definitely burn out, I feel, a lot quicker because it is an emotional thing.
Oh, for
and
sure.
It's like there's a lot of brain capacity that goes into even just pouring. I just did my first pour 2 interviews ago with Angela Schofield, and she's got her, and that's the thing about pour too, is no one has the same style.
Oh yeah.
Right? So I find that, like, getting into a new medium that I've never been able to do, like physically hands-on, getting to do it.
Yeah.
It is so cathartic.
Oh, for
when
sure.
you just pull the cup up and, like, the paint's just dripping off and there's no control, that freedom of just, like, letting yourself free to the universe.
Yeah.
And just, like, take me where you want me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I feel like that's where the older I get, and the older, like, as, like, mentally, the more I develop, I'm drawn to abstract art.
Yeah.
As where before I was really drawn to portraits and landscapes. And I was like, oh, you can't beat a landscape artist. But now I'm like, anyone can do landscape if you practice hard enough. But not
for sure.
everyone can create a pour that invokes emotion, and then to like what you do where you're adding things on top of it. I love that style of artwork because it just, for me, is like a lover of graffiti.
Yeah.
That's all that, it just pops to me, and I'm like, I love the new form, the new styles of art that are coming out, because it's always going to evolve.
Oh,
We're
for
always
sure.
going to be creating something new, and that's where this discipline of artistic endeavor is, to me, more magical now than music, even though music is like my heart and soul.
Yeah.
There's such a difference in the two, but you find that they respond to each other quite well.
Oh, for sure.
Like the frequencies that you're putting into your paintings are the same frequencies that you're resonating with music, and when you're putting that out to the universe, that draws more to you. And I find that when you're putting your energy into commissions, you're going to have more come.
Yeah.
And not just because you're doing good, but because you're putting that out to the universe. Kind of like manifestation.
Oh, for sure.
I'm a heavy believer in that, but there's some people who don't believe that it's true. And I think artists, because you're taking something blank.
Yeah.
And then you make this.
Yeah.
You are the prime example of what manifestation is as an artist.
Yeah.
Do you find that there's times where you struggle with what you want to create artistically and have tossed it to the side for a while and come back and created something completely different?
Yeah, actually, so after I graduated high school, I went to a private secondary school on the reserve here called the Inalkin Center, and I took the National Indigenous Artist Training. And so constantly making art. I was writing, I was doing performing arts, and after I had finished my 2 years there, once I was done, I didn't pick up a paintbrush for a couple of years, and I was just so burnt out by, and it was just because, like, we were constantly creating. There was, like, not a moment to, take a breath and reset just because I was in school. And then you would take the summer off and then go back and then be doing it all over again. So once I finished, I was like, oh, people are like, oh, like, what's the new stuff that you're working on? And I'm like, I don't have the capacity to do it anymore. And I took, it was like 2 years off because I was just so burnt out from creating constantly. And it was like 2 to 3 things every week for this training.
Wow.
And I like now I really appreciate that because they pushed me out of my comfort zone where that's where I found my style, was because I was doing Haida and I was talking to someone who was Haida and they were like, oh, are you Haida? And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh. I'm like, interesting. Do the people around here have their own style? I'm like, I don't really know. And I was like, no, actually, I don't really think we do. And I was like, I just really like your culture's art. And he was like, maybe you should try like doing something different. And then when I was working with the amazing professors there, they were like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we need you to have this done by like next week. And I was like, oh. I'm like, oh, okay. And then that's just kind of how I evolved into the artist that I am, was through that. But yeah, I took a long break after that.
Do you think that motivation was lacking or had been taken out of you because it was school? Because I always have this theory that you can't be taught art, you can't be taught music, and you can't be taught specific disciplines because they are very emotional based. And if you're being forced or taught how to do something within a certain spectrum, kind of kills the motivation for it. Yeah,
and I did find that for sure, just because I was like, man, I am so tired. Like there was one project that I did that I had to finish, and I didn't sleep for like, I had like a couple hours within 72 hours of working on this project. And once I handed it in, we had this like napping couch out in the hallway, and my professor was like, okay, you did good. I was like, can I? And she was like, go. Like, because I was sitting there and I was like, I don't feel good, and I was like shaky, and I was just living off of coffee and ramen basically, because I was a starving student. And she was like, yeah, go lay down. And I ended up sleeping the whole day. And one of my friends took notes for me, and he was like, do you want to ride home? I'm like, oh man, like, what time is it? He's like, yeah, it's like 3:00, like school's over. I'm like, oh. And he was like, I'll give you a ride home. And I was like, holy man. And he was like, you did good on your project though. And I was like, oh Jesus. But yeah, it was awesome to be creating, but like you said, it was very much like, hey, you have to stay within this boundary of what needs to be created, and it has to be done on a certain time limit. So I think that took a lot of the inspiration out of it, and it was school. It wasn't like, there were some moments where I was like, God, I love this painting, or I love this drawing, but there were other moments where like, oh my God, I don't want to do this, because it was just, and to have like professional artists who became professors like critiquing your work, and I was like, like I think it's amazing, but they were like, yeah, well, we're gonna give you marks on it, and I was like, I didn't like that aspect of it. So, but honestly, I still hold on to like a lot of great teachings that I got from that school to this day. So
I think it's kind of cool that you had a Haida artist look at your work and ask if you were Haida. Is there different art forms within the different cultures that transcend or are completely different from each other?
Yeah, I think it's person to person. I think that Haida is just a very well-known art style.
It's the most popular in my mind too, right? So like, do our local Indigenous tribes have their own art style, or are you creating it? Like, are you one of the people who is actually creating the Okanagan's Indigenous art style?
I don't know, honestly. Like,
because if he sees your artwork and he's like, hey, you have a unique style, you're creating it. You are the leader of the Okanagan, like one of the leaders behind the Okanagan's Indigenous art.
I've never actually thought of it that way.
Like, to me, that's what that would be. Because if you're having an artist who says, hey, like, what you're doing is magical. You guys have your own style. No, it's because artwork's right here.
Yeah, well, because I was doing mostly Haida stuff, and then he was like, why don't you try something different? And then it just kind of snowballed from there, and now I have my own art style, and I get a lot of people who are like, oh, I saw your art, or I saw your art in town or something, and I'm like, oh, I actually, the health center I work for, we had one of our community members come in, and we have one of my paintings in the foyer, and she was like, that's your art, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, it is. And she's like, oh, I can tell it's yours. It's like, oh, thank you. And she was like, oh yeah, I can always tell when it's your art. I'm like, and it's a great feeling to be recognized as that specific style, I guess. It's just, yeah, and I never really thought about, like...
Because you have, like, your photo that we used for the thumbnails and the artwork is with the mayor. And he's wearing your jersey that you created for the Vees. Yeah. I'd say that your artwork is getting... It is representing our area in the Indigenous art form, because it's becoming... The Vees are wearing it at games.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they got to wear it at a game. It's a huge honor.
It really was.
Them.
Yeah.
Not for you to design it, but for them to wear your design. I think that is it's magic. Like, realistically, there's not, and from what I know, a lot of very famous Indigenous artists, but I'm also just getting into the art world. Yeah. So to see one that is making it from our hometown, that is quite literally grown from the ground up, you built yourself up from school, sold your artwork to make it to Europe. Out of Europe, you came here and started creating artwork. Yeah. That artwork was noticed by higher artists that said you need to create your own, and now you're creating your own, and it's being worn by our hockey team. Yeah. The path you've done is quite incredible.
Thank you.
What plans do you have moving forward? Do you have any new ideas, or do you want to take it to a larger scale? Like, would you ever do galleries?
Honestly, I think galleries would be awesome. I'm so busy already. It is so hard to create that many paintings. I did actually do like a Christmas market recently, and so I did 12 paintings. I made prints from them, and I also made a calendar. The calendars went like that. People were like, oh, because it was a Christmas market, and they were like, well, the New Year's coming, and the calendars sold very quickly. One of my coworkers, her sister, she cut once the calendar was done, she cut all the pictures out, and then she framed each one. That's awesome. And she was like, now I have 12 pieces of her art, like all over her house, which is like super cool. But yeah, just between my two jobs and running my own business, it's kind of hard to find the time for that. But I think lately I've been moving into logos. It kind of started with the Vees, and I created another logo for a company called Interfor. It's like a forestry company in Castlegar. Oh, cool. Yeah, so I redesigned their logo. So I think that's kind of where I'm headed now. People are wanting logos done. They're wanting T-shirts and whatnot done. And maybe later on I could learn how to pick up a tattoo gun and play my hand at that. But yeah, I'm always looking for something new to do with my art. So
it's a creative in you.
Yeah.
You can never just sit still and do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
You're always going to be pushing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
With when it comes to galleries, everyone tends to think they have to have these hundreds of pieces. Yeah. I have this idea that I've been creating since the last 3 months of doing the series, because I've been speaking with a lot more artists whose artwork is, for me, it is so Okanagan and representative of Penticton and Kelowna that it needs to be put out there. Yeah. And that's the one thing I find, being a musician, that we have over other artists. We're very good at selling ourselves to venues because we have to. Yeah. It's where painters have a hard time getting into restaurants and things like that. So I have this vision of creating a little network of all the artists that I've interviewed and worked with. Yeah. And all the venues that I know, and try and get their artwork in there, kind of as like a rotating showcase for my friends and people that I know, because one way or another, the art's got to get out there, and our community is very artistic, but it's very like, you have to be high echelon to be able to be put into the top end restaurants. It's like the artists we have locally are so talented that you just got to give them that chance for other people to see it.
Oh, for sure.
And that's where I love Paul Crawford, who's the curator at the art gallery here. He's very supportive of local artists, whether they're younger or older, new or old, like not in age but in skill level. And I think that that's one thing that I heavily want to see pushed more, is our local artists being exposed to the tourist aspect that we have, because we have such a diverse tour. Like right now, Penticton and Kelowna are just stuffed full of people from all over the world. Why not showcase during the summer hours our local artists' artwork on the walls and commission it, and then switch it out if you need to in the winter, but when no one's here. Because
that's actually a really good idea.
There's just so many, we have so many wineries, so many little microbreweries, that it's just like, just got to get it into them and networking. And I think that's, artists don't think in that musician aspect. I think that's where the line draws, is like how to sell yourself, because with commissions, you make hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on what the commission is. As where like bands have to do it from door sales or ticket sales, which is kind of that commission where you have to bring people in. And if you could merge the two, that's where we need it. That's where we need to get our scene. So
that would be really cool.
I would love to see, or even try and work with, getting other Aboriginal and Indigenous artists from the area to do like a showcase of like what the area has to offer. Because I think that like the I can't remember the winery in, I think it's Oliver or Suya's. They have the giant statues. They're metal statues.
Oh, okay,
and they're stunning. And it's like those kind of things are like, that's what really resonates with me. Like growing up here, it was always this like, the Okanagan is very like touristy, and we never really focused on like the culture that we have, because we don't really have a culture in Penticton. Canada's so young, we're still developing our culture. We're like a teenager trying to figure out who we are. And I think that being multicultural in Canada, I think we've had a culture here for a long time, and it was pushed aside. And not to like go into a negative aspect, but I think that culture is so beautiful that it's like, it's good to see it being brought back in. Like Canadians are globally, or not globally, but like nationally, we're like accepting Indigenous art into a lot of things now, and you see it being more and more pushed in. I love it.
Oh, for sure.
Do you think that you'd ever like do a course to teach students how to push the same style of art that you've learned and created?
Well, I do painting classes. Like every once in a while. I've done like youth groups and elders, and people are just like,
that's awesome.
Like, do you teach paint classes? I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, I can do that. It's usually something fairly simple. That painting is from teaching a paint class, just something that you can fit in like a couple of hours, just because after a while people like lose interest.
It's modern days.
Especially with like I think my hardest crowd to teach is teenagers, because they lose interest so fast, and I just remember when I was being taught how to paint, I was like very like, yeah, let's do this. Like I was very in tune, and then you would always get people who were very like the kids who are just like the clowns of the class, who cracked jokes and distracted everybody. So kudos to like high school teachers, because holy man, I'm exhausted after one class with teenagers, because I'm just like, okay, constantly repeating myself and constantly being like, yeah, this is like what we're doing, and we gotta come back and redo this step because you weren't paying attention or whatever. So high school teachers are totally like, they have my praise. Like they're I don't know how they can handle kids like that every day. But Yeah, and it's usually just simple art pieces. I haven't taught anyone like my style or how I do it. I want to do a pouring class one of these days, but you get a lot of people who don't like getting dirty. So with me, when I'm pouring, I'm up to here in paint. It's all over my clothes. It's like, it's one of those things that I'm like, meh. Like, by the time I get out of it, I'm like, I got paint in my hair. I get pretty messy with it. But anytime I've like taught people like simple landscapes, they're like, oh, got stuff all over my hands. And yeah, so it's just finding the right crowd for that is a little bit more difficult. But I would be very interested in like teaching a class like that would let me explore like pour paint with someone, just because I think it's so much fun.
It is.
And it's very, and like you said, it's very like, you can't really plan what's going to come out. And I think it's very important for you to like release that control every once in a while, just to be like, oh, well, it comes out the way it is, then that's the way it is, right? So
I think we all need to learn how to release control.
Yeah.
The whole world right now is just so like we've got to control every little aspect.
Oh, for sure.
And like that's why I really enjoy the one that's going to be the wolf, because like learning, just recently doing a pour and learning how you do it, there's so much in that one that I'm like, how did you even get the cells and all the different movement in that without losing it? I can imagine watching it. Were there points in that one specifically where you almost thought you lost it?
100%, yeah.
Because now I understand the concept of when you're twisting it and you're moving it and you're trying not to lose those shapes, and then it starts to leak and you're like, no.
Actually, I was right here doing my pour and I accidentally stepped on one of my dogs. And so when she like jumped, I jumped, and I was like, I poured a lot of it on the ground here, and I was like, oh my god. So I had to like put it down and like console my dog first, of course, and then
you do the painting.
And then I was like, picking up paint that had spilt, and I was putting it back, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's just what happens when you have pets around your legs all the time. But so this part right here was actually, I hadn't finished it yet, and then it came pouring off this side. So this whole part right here was white, and I was like, oh my god, I don't have enough paint for that. So I literally just scooped it off the table and then like off the ground and just like put it on there. And of course there's dog hair in it too, so I had to like pluck out dog hair. It was
awesome.
It was quite the moment.
I can imagine it was just chaos for 5 minutes straight.
It was chaotic, and and then because I rent this house, I was like, I have to clean this floor. So it was quite the adventure, but I was able to save it, and this one went smooth. That one just was.
I think that's why you can see the difference between smooth and it's like the chaos. And that's why I'm drawn to that one.
Yeah.
My mind is very chaotic, so that one.
Yeah. Same here.
It's drawn. I'm like, like even if you weren't to cover it up, that's a beautiful pour piece.
Oh, thank you so much.
And like pour is now that I've understand it a little more, and it's like, I just saw a friend, he just did a whole bunch of pieces for his band too. I think they're selling or putting these pieces out with their upcoming album as like a special edition if you buy it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And they're all individual, but there's like, you see some that are just like, but then there's just some that call to you.
Oh, for sure. They really draw you in.
Yeah, and I think that's the most captivating thing about pours. There's no control.
No.
Like it's completely 100% up to whatever gravity chooses.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it difficult, because how can you control and create art it's like you have to flow with it.
Yeah.
You have to, like Bruce Lee says, you have to be like water. If the water's in the cup, it becomes the cup.
Yeah.
I think you have to do that with any art form.
Oh,
and I think people like overthink it way too much nowadays when creating.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, that was one of those moments that I was like, I ruined this whole painting. But
not even though it's so.
I was able to salvage it. This one actually, I entered this one into a competition.
Oh, cool.
And it arrived damaged, so it had this big black streak across. It had like all these thick gouges. You can still kind of see them. So I'm
Just from travel?
Yeah. So I shipped it, and when I got a hold of them to be like, hey, did you receive that painting? And they were like, yeah, we did. Just let you know it arrived quite damaged. It's like, oh, I was quite upset.
Yeah, I would want to cry.
I did cry because I was like, wow, a lot of work went into that painting. So when I got it back and I refurbished it, well, I'm still in the midst of refurbishing it. Can still see like some of the gouges, so I'm just been adding more and more varnish just to kind of flatten everything off. But yeah, that's another thing with like this type of art, is that if it gets like too warm, or if you don't let it dry long enough, like it will, it can get ruined. So yeah, it's one of those things that you just kind of go with the flow. So once I got it back, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to refurbish it, and then I will hopefully sell it, and it will make someone very happy. But and it's still placed like 5th place.
That's awesome.
Out of like all the competitors, I was actually very surprised.
Even with, they just look past the damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they
understand.
They were just like, yeah, like it was damaged, but like it's still very beautiful. And I was like, thank you. And I was like, but I was still really upset about it. But
it's like, there's only one thing I've ever done that has been put into like a competition where, and it was a poem that I did when I was like 9.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really led me into being a musician, was like, I was like, oh, I won an award with words.
Yeah.
And like, that's where I'm good, is with words. Like, I can either be extremely great with words, or like I can destroy everything with words.
Yeah.
And I think that art, painting, drawing is like, I've always been drawn to it because there's something visual. Like, as a person who can picture things in my head but can't put it to paper or canvas, it's like, it frustrates me.
Yeah.
So I love people who can take what they see, put it on to a canvas, and it's out into the world of created. As for like music, I have like 400 songs that are unreleased, things like that. It's like, artists don't have to worry about that, because you can always finish a painting. As for like a song is like, if a song sucks, the song sucks.
Yeah.
There's no, like, you can always redo a painting, but to like try and rewrite a song is actually really difficult, because it's like, there's that structure that it's stuck in your head, because like, you wouldn't be able to take that painting and change it to a point, because you're going to visually see that painting always now.
Oh,
that's how your brain. So like, you couldn't turn that into something else without mentally seeing that. And that's kind of how I see music, is it's like this weird connection between like our brain, our soul, and our hands that is just magical. And artists just captivate me in that sense. With your career, what's been your favorite piece to date? And I know most people would probably assume it would be the jersey.
That one is one of my favorites. However, I have a painting that is at the Fairview Medical Center, and it is like 1.2 meters by 1 meter. It's
a big canvas.
It's huge. It's the biggest painting I have ever done, and I'm still very proud of that painting. So when people see it, they're like, wow, like, and it's very in your face. It takes up the whole wall. That one is one of my favorites. And it's one of the ones that people will still text me about, be like, I just saw your painting and it's beautiful. So it kind of looks like this, but instead of this kind of design, it's more of like a realistic painting on top of it. So, and that one was just one of my favorites. And I don't know. I think it's probably because it's how big it is that it just it made me very proud, and it took me quite a few months to complete.
I was gonna ask, how long did it take?
It was.
Big canvases are not easy.
Yeah, it was about 60 hours,
Wow.
just in this one painting, and I actually took videos of it, like time-lapse videos of it, and I put it all together. And when we did the reveal of the painting, I played that video of me doing the painting from start to finish. And I think it was just so much of me went into that painting, and also I tried something new with like video as well and documenting it that way. just because of how big it was. I was like, I need to document this. So yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite pieces that I've ever done.
Do you think you do murals? Would you ever move to murals?
Honestly, I don't think so. Just because
it's a hard thing.
Murals, like, you have to be very fast, and like, just because of especially if you're out in the heat like this, it dries so quickly, and it takes up a lot of time, and they're just so big. I just like, yeah, I've been asked if I would do a mural, and I was like, oh man, I can't see myself doing it, just because also a lot of the material that you're painting on is like this super porous material to have to, and if there's bricks or any kind of texture on top of it, it's very, very difficult. So I don't think I would ever do a mural just because of how vast they are. And there's a lot of mural artists who use like spray paint and whatnot. I
was just gonna ask, have you ever worked with spray paint?
No, I've tried spray painting. When I was a kid, I spray painted my bike like sky blue, and it was awful. And it was just to paint over a bike that I didn't like the color, and my grandpa helped me with it, and I was like, man, I knew, I had a friend who was an artist who worked with spray paint, and he did amazing work, but I couldn't even spray paint a freaking bike, like in middle school, and I was like, he tried to teach me strokes and whatnot,
distance and angle.
I couldn't get it.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I tried really hard because I was like, I really want to like try this, like something new. You could paint like large areas very quickly, and I couldn't pick it up.
I was like, if you could do murals inside and it wouldn't need like air conditioning, and you could control more or less how quickly you're drying.
Yeah.
Doing like inside of like stores and stuff, because I have a lot of friends who do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stores in Kelowna now who are getting graffiti artists to come in and do the interior.
Oh.
So the interior designs all graffiti. It may not be like big pieces and throw-ups, but it's like the logo of the company is done by a graffiti artist. And
that's really cool.
There's like different avenues for artists to like move into, and that's why I was curious if you've ever done murals, because it's not like the scale of the one just down the street. Like that is massive scale. I can't even picture putting myself through that.
The one at the school?
With the spiral on the side of the red building. What building is that? If we were to go down the road, what is the red building that's right there that used to have Jose's Pepper Club?
Oh!
So the side of the building where Gables burnt down, they have that giant mural where it's like the black and white spiral with the female's face.
Oh, okay.
And like, it's a huge mural there, and it was there for years and years, and I was like, I could never... Like, being up there, that high, painting,
I'm also scared of heights.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's like, my friend Anjanae, she does murals. She did the one in Tickleberries years ago, and then I think she did she did the bandshell as well.
Okay.
So, like, that scale, like, interviewing her and talking to her about murals, she's like, yeah, no, it's not even the painting aspect, but, like, the physical aspect of, like, oh, yeah, you're up that high, you can't get down to go to the washroom.
That is so scary.
You're holding it in, right? Like, things like that, I'm like... We don't think about that. What painters put themselves through when they're doing these things.
Oh, for sure.
Even like when you're focusing on painting, like you live off coffee because you're focused. Like I live off coffee because I'm always focused, and that's I think a weird. I think that's what separates us from like the creatives from the hard workers and the doers. Like I always say, there's threes. There's the people who think of it, the people who tell you how to do it, and the people who make it happen.
Yeah.
And we're the creatives. We're the ones who like change the world through thought.
Yeah.
And then other people make it happen. And I think that with being creatives, we also have like this huge duty to make a difference through art. And I think that's why artists have always been so like revered through the ages, is like we idolize Da Vinci. And like so long down past his death that I feel musicians get the credibility they deserve in their time if they get picked up.
Yeah.
Because people enjoy their music, but most painters don't until after they're gone.
And that's what I always tell everybody. I was telling a friend of mine, I was like, yeah, make sure you keep that painting. She's like, why? And I'm like, because when I'm gone, I was like, that painting's going to be worth thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And I always joke about it. And I'm like, yeah, when I'm gone, make sure you hang on to that, or I'll sign it for you, and then you can sell that for thousands of dollars. And I always just joke about it with all my friends, and they're like, don't say that. And I'm like, well, like most artists, most painters, like you said, like aren't recognized until they're gone. Like Da Vinci and
Van Gogh.
Yeah, I was gonna say Van Gogh and
Monet.
a lot of artists actually. It's not until long after they're gone that someone's like, oh my God, this art is amazing. Who did this?
That's from 300 years ago.
Yeah, and that person's gone.
Yeah, I think that's what's like super difficult. And when you create something that is like so you, and is like your whole soul is put into it, doesn't matter what size piece it is, what it's for, whether it's commissioned, whether it's for yourself, you're always putting a piece of you into it. And it's like, at what point do we can give up all of ourselves in the art? I feel like we all will hit a point inevitably where that creative juice stops, and that's like my biggest fear. And like my biggest fear recently, like I just turned 35 this year, and my biggest fear is like giving up my dreams because I'm like getting older. I'm like, I'm gonna be turning 40 in 5 years. Like, should I be giving up on my music or and like buckling down and doing the 9 to 5? And I'm like, no. No, like this is why we're here. Yeah. We're not meant to do 9 to 5s. We're meant to create, to help people inspire the world. And I think that I've said this before with musicians, and I think that it would be an amazing thing to see any government do is make this our job. Give us a living wage to create art and watch how much art thrives in our country. Sure. You look at the European countries who actually like support and put money into their arts culture, they're thriving. And that's what like they're not just the arts, the countries are thriving. Look at Germany, you look at Finland, you look at Sweden, you look at Norway, like they're all thriving because they've always involved themselves in their arts, and they're a very close-knit community of their people. And that's where Canada's very separate from the rest of the world, is like East Coast, West Coast, Quebec, northern area, you know what I mean? Like everyone's separated, and it's like, how can we as the creative artists that are like, how can we change that? That's where like my mind starts to get locked in nowadays. Like the older I get, it's like, at what point are we too old to be doing it? And it's like, we're never too old to create, but at what point do we put our foot down and say, now we have to educate and inspire? Because like for my whole life growing up, it was create music just to have fun. And then I hit 30 and it was like, I've got to give up music, because 27 is the age you give it up. Now I'm 35 and I'm like, my music career is just picking up. Like both my band and my hip hop career are both flourishing to a point where I'm probably gonna have to make a choice soon. So that's a good thing. That's where we want to be. How do we convince the rest of Canada to embrace the arts culture, to make it that sense where we have that livable wage for artists? That's like, I think the biggest struggle for us in the long run.
Oh, for sure.
Because like realistically, like our art will only get out there as hard as we push. And and we can only push so hard while creating the art. There's got to be like that middle ground. I feel like there's a lot of really like amazing arts. I don't want to say communities, but like organizations, like BC Arts Council and things like that, that do have like grants. It's just people don't understand how, we're not taught how to access that. And I think that if we were like taught, like in your art school, if you were taught how to access an arts grant so that you can do that, those kind of things, I think it's like, that's what we need to be teaching kids.
Oh, for sure.
On top of like don't send them to school to learn how to like, this is current events. Like the world's crazy. We know the world's crazy. Teach them how to be successful in what they want to be.
For sure.
So how would you, how do I phrase this? So I have a specific question I usually ask at the end, but If you were to guide someone as to how to pick up their pen to make it a living,
Yeah.
what would your first step for them be?
Marketing. Marketing yourself is very, very important. And it's about like getting your own brand and making yourself known to everybody. It's one of those things, and to have yourself be readily available for commissions is very, very important. But yeah, that was one thing that I learned in at the Inauken Center, was marketing yourself as an artist.
So they teach you that.
Oh, they do teach you that.
So that's magic.
Yeah, and it was amazing learning how to make a portfolio, learning how to, make your own art email and your own page and whatnot like that. So they made it they were like, it's very important for you to market yourself, because if you don't market yourself, people don't know you're an artist. So if that is something that could be taught even in high school, like to be able to market yourself as an artist, like, hey, if you want to do this as like your passion, as your passion project, then you need to learn how to be able to sell your art, how to price it out, what you think is like a something that is, I'm losing my words here.
It's okay.
But yeah, just having to teach someone how to market themselves is very important. I think that's just, what it comes down to, because when I was younger, I didn't really know how to market myself. And once I went to the Inauken Center and they teach you how to do that, it all came together very quickly. And then I took those 2 years off, and now it's starting to pick up again, and it's been really great. So I think that's one thing that should be taught to young artists.
I think you had a really good point without even mentioning it, was stop calling it a passion project and teach them how to make it their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because we come from the same age range where we were taught you couldn't follow your dreams unless you had a backup. Like you had to go to school, get a degree, an education, because if your dream doesn't follow, you have a backup plan. Yeah. If our parents would have just been like, hey, whatever you want to do it, but you have to do it fully, wholeheartedly, and you have to give it all, or you're not going to make it. Yeah. I think a lot of us would have been further ahead where we are today, with especially being given opportunities like that as artists. Because a lot of the 90s kids growing up, we were taught you're never going to make a career out of being artistic.
Yeah. I actually had a professor tell me that one time, because
my music teacher literally told me I would never make it anywhere with music, and I'm like, bro, I've toured. I literally toured for like 10 years of my life enjoying music, so
I couldn't imagine telling a child that.
No, and that's
even when I do my painting classes, and anytime someone's like, I'm not an artist, I'm like, everybody is an artist. You just need to find your niche and what ignites that creative fire inside of you. Like it may not be painting, maybe it's beading, maybe it's sewing, maybe it's music, maybe it's sculpting. Like, and it's one of those things that I always tell people that I'm teaching in art classes, that I'm like, everybody is an artist. You just need to find the one thing that makes you an artist. And sometimes I find the most amazing artists who have never painted before, and they do these amazing paintings, and then they're like, oh yeah, I guess it's okay. And I'm like, no, that's beautiful. And like, you don't even understand how amazing you are as an artist. Or I've had some people who are like, oh, I'm a sculptor, I'm not a painter, and then they make these gorgeous paintings, and I'm just like, well, actually you're just an artist. Like, you can work with any medium you want as long as you put your mind to it. I couldn't imagine telling a kid that. Actually, after that professor told me that, and she was like, yeah, it's really hard to make it as an artist, and it's not a feasible idea. I'm a very spiteful person. Me too. So I was like, oh, you don't think I can make it? Watch me. Yeah. So
I think Banksy kind of, I don't like giving credit to Banksy or Shepard Fairey because I feel like they're so like overdone.
Yeah.
But like realistically, Banksy kind of made it any art style you can become professional in. Same with Shepard Fairey. Like he stole an image from the 80s, a stamp, and made it a full-blown company now. Like Obey is huge. And it's like you can do anything you want. And I think that was what was like embedded in our parents, was like you have to have that hard work and work job, but you can work hard like at anything you want. And I think that stifling kids at a young age instead of inspiring them, because like art has always been with us and will always be with us. I always say this, like since the dawn of time when we were cavemen, we were doing graffiti.
Yeah.
It's writing on walls. It is graffiti.
Yeah,
it's like
pictographs.
Exactly, right? And it's like those lasted to today. And that is us in our full essence. It's not the architecture, it's not the hunting, it's not the language, it's what do we look back at, and really what matters to us when we look back at past cultures is the art.
Yeah.
That's how we resonate with them in modern day. A hockey player is not going to be remembered 300 years down the road. No one's going to care about hockey. No one's going to care about football players. You know what I mean? Like their names are going to die and be gone in time. But artists are the ones who have always changed the world.
Yeah.
Look at Renaissance times. You look at Woodstock.
Yeah.
Right? The Renaissance was a huge art movement, and then Woodstock was music that changed the entire world. That was a peace movement created by a handful of musicians.
Yeah.
They were like, we don't want to deal with war anymore.
Yeah.
We are the ones who are able to do anything in the world. And I think that I have this weird thing that's like, that's why they try stifling. It's because artistic people are the creative ones who can change. If you can kind of keep them in their box, they're not going to like...
They're not going to disturb
the
world.
Know, exactly. So it's kind of like, we're at a perfect time right now. This is something that just hit me recently. It's like, we're in the best time to live. As messed up as the world is right now, you can make a life out of doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
Any job. You can be a gamer.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. You just have to do it. And I think right now is the prime time to inspire a younger generation to be like, you want to be a painter? Be a painter.
Yeah.
Just fully go do it.
Yeah.
If you had any advice, or before that, if you could change one thing about the arts industry, what do you think it would be?
I think something that's very common is going into the mindset of, oh, that's too expensive. And that's one thing that drives me crazy, is that, I know some great artists who set their rates so low, and they don't have that confidence to be like, oh, this is what I'm worth. If you don't like it, then you can move on to another artist. And they take these very low commissions for amazing art that is worth so much more. And I think that's one of the things that people don't realize, that it's not just, I'm making money for my art. This is a piece of me goes into each of these paintings. And it's the same thing with any artist. Like, if you're going into any kind of art project, or you're doing a commission for someone, but having them be like, it's really expensive. Like, I think that's one thing that people need to change, that mindset of like, it's so expensive, to, well, how much time and how much emotion and how much love did they put into each of these things? I think that's one thing that people need to change their mindset on, is that I've had people be like, oh, that's really expensive, would you take this for it? I'm like, no. I'm like, absolutely not, no. And if you don't want it, then that's fine.
Somebody else will.
Yeah, somebody else will buy it. But I think that's one thing that needs to change within the industry, is that having that mindset of things are too expensive. But you've got to think of, a person's time. You've got to think about like all the supplies that goes into it. And I think that's just one of the things that people just need to change their mindset on, is and I feel bad for artists who are just like, oh, I just don't feel like I'm that good, so I charge really, really small amount. I'm like, no, like, you're an amazing artist and you should be charging more for your work, but you can't tell people what they should be charging. It's just like you have to kind of figure it out yourself. But I have told a couple artists, I'm like, you're not charging enough, and like, you should be charging more. But they're like, oh, well, I'm still really new to this. I'm like,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Skill set does not determine how long you've been doing something. If you're gifted at something, you're gifted at it.
You should be charging what you're worth. And I think that's one thing that I would change.
I think it's probably one of the best points I've heard.
Yeah.
Out of any of the painters. Most of the time it's like, don't give up, and it's like, we all the same, like, encouraging things, but like, that is a very valid point, and I think that people are going to pay thousands of dollars to go see Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Pay $200 for a painting.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, my friend Brent does these, I host hip-hop events and other stuff locally, and we just had one on Saturday, our final show at Clancy's. It was a big hip-hop EDM blowout show, and my buddy Brent comes and he does live painting at our events.
Wow.
And he calls it chaos art. So he's moving to the music and he's just throwing colors onto these things and they become these cool abstract paintings. And then, like, I'm like, bro, that's like thousands of dollars. Like, you just, how much energy and how much love you put into it is just, and then he's like, hands it to someone. And he's like, I'd rather give my paintings away. I'm like, I gotta charge. Like, you're so talented. Like, I bought one of his paintings and it's on my wall and I'm like, I want to buy more.
Yeah.
I just want to keep buying more. And it's like, if you're willing to go spend $100 on drinks at Salty's or, you know, like the Barking Parrot, like, why can't you support your friends with $100 and pay for one of their paintings?
Oh, for sure.
You're going to appreciate it for as long as you have it.
Yeah.
And it helps them, like, more than you'll ever know.
Oh, for sure.
Just giving somebody that, like, time of day is very valuable.
Oh, 100%.
If you had one piece of advice to give an aspiring artist who would like to start their journey, what do you think it would be?
I think that my advice would be just to find your own style. It's one of those things that isn't talked about enough, is that finding your own style and finding a style that is easily recognized to you is very important. And also, like I said before, learning how to market yourself and learning how to, you know, go out there and let the world know that you're an artist and that you are there to create and to, you know, make people happy with the art that you create and, like you said, change the world for the better. And I think that it's very important to take care of yourself. I'm one to talk. Like, there are moments where I don't really take care of myself and I put a little too much on my plate. But I think that after you finish projects, it's very important to have a reset moment to get back to yourself, because if you don't, then you're going to burn out so fast and you're not going to want to do art anymore. So I think that those would be my pieces of advice for someone who is starting out, because I was not given any of that kind of advice in high school. And then when I went into the private secondary school and learned about marketing and everything, and then quickly burned out after the 2 years. So I think that would be my advice for a new artist.
Find yourself and give yourself some breathing space sometimes.
For sure.
It's definitely difficult to, and you've hit a lot of points that are probably some of my favorite points, especially the taking care of yourself. We tend to forget that.
Yeah.
We're so hyper-focused, and I think it's because a lot of us have ADHD, and we're just like, we're so hyper-focused on our art and trying to do something for somebody else, so we tend to, we come last always.
Yeah.
And I think that's the very thing, is like, you need to focus on you at the same time.
Yeah.
And like, being able to divvy that up it's a challenge.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
yeah. And we grew up in a time where it was very like, go. And, you're not upset mental health, what's that? Like, move on.
Yeah.
Quit your crying.
Yeah. Man up.
Yeah,
it's
exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of nice to be the generation that's not breaking those chains, but like the ones that are now get to inspire a younger generation to be something that's like more.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see where the future goes for creatives.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I want to thank you so much for doing this. This has been an incredible conversation. Yeah. You're magical, and we didn't even get to dive into the other forms of incredible art that you do. And I'd love to come back and do another sit down with you and dive into the beading and the dancing and everything else, because there's the art and like the mind are one thing. Yeah. But I would love to like dive in and see more of the Indigenous aspects that you have, like the art form, because I've been to one powwow in my lifetime and it was magic. Like that is, it's amazing. If you ever want to see an amazing experience, is like go watch that, because it's culturally like soulful. Like I got goosebumps thinking about it. Just like actually got goosebumps just thinking about how there's not a word that describes the music, the dancing, the colors, everything. So like I would love to be able to do like a part 2 and dive into that aspect of what you do, because it's, to me, it's a art form and a style and culture that I've always wanted to dive into but never had the opportunity. So I want to thank you for everything.
And thank you so much for coming into my studio.
No, it's been amazing, and I can't wait to see more of the artwork as it comes.
Yeah, some new stuff is coming up, so.
Awesome. Well, we'll catch you guys next time, and thanks for coming by.